Hello, everyone. It is Thursday, June 10th, 2021. This is the first time we are holding an alternate time session for our SIG Node CI and triage meeting. And I am going to pull up the notes and share my screen and see what we've got on the agenda for today. Unfortunately, Sergey could not make it as he has a dentist appointment. Here are today's notes. So we had something on the agenda here for this item, but it is crossed out. Do you want to talk about this? Did this get merged? It did not. Pekka, are you able to see this / talk?
Hello.
Hi.
I can just join.
We can hear you.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is crossed off, but nobody has merged this. I did talk to Dims, and he was hesitant to merge this because his concern was that we might be losing tests by basically getting rid of this. I'm pretty sure we're not, because I went and looked at the test selectors, and the only difference that I could see was that this one does not select for, I think, serial tests. But from what I could tell, it's not actually running anything else. It's just a duplicate. So
Yes, I agree with you, but let me check later. Maybe I can go through other test cases and then check if other cover those.
okay, sounds good. I'm gonna unstrike through this. How do I do that? It won't let me. Do we have anything else for the agenda for today? I know that we have the eternal serial job, so we should probably talk about that. I don't know, Francesca, if you've seen the latest.
Yes, I did. It seems we are eventually making good progress. We had a breakthrough, didn't we?
Yeah. So I guess as soon as we don't mess up the test description to actually run it on the branches, and we exclude the eviction test, and it seems to just be the eviction tests, everything runs fine, within about an hour and 30 minutes. So I submitted a PR basically to split the two jobs, and then Odin was skeptical that that would fix it. But I think that we should try to divide and conquer, because there were still definitely lots of failing serial node jobs. So I think that we should try to fix those separately from the eviction jobs, which are slow.
I just want to go on record and saying that in general, I believe that splitting the huge serial line is something worth per se. Even things were working good. I think that one huge serial job was too much.
Okay. I agree with you. Let's see. I have a PR open. Oh, something happened here. Maybe it did. What's going on? I mean, this looks still like it's failing constantly to me. Although we could see, I think, from these, from the PRs where it was run, we had some greens. So here's my PR to split it. I guess let me copy this issue. Oh, it has an approved and an LGTM. It just also has a hold. So I guess, do we want to talk about canceling the hold?
It's probably me, yeah.
Yeah, it was your hold.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any opinions on this? I don't think that we should configure a new, well, wait. It has its own new tab. It's on a different dashboard, I think, the way that I did this. So here, let me, do we have Artium today? I don't think so.
I have a small note on the serial test as well. I tried running only the eviction test, and I ended up with a 24-hour timeout. So
I see.
yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah,
it's the eviction tests that are broken. Well, it's good that we
Yeah.
figure that out and separate. I think that we should just separate them out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I mean, is there anything? I really want to unblock the like periodic so we could get signal on which tests are failing. So if folks on this call don't have any concerns, like Dims was happy to approve this one the way that it is because we're not getting rid of any tests, we're just splitting them into different jobs. If folks think that that's okay, then hopefully we can get this merged and then we will have the eviction tests, I guess, running and timing out. And then we can file that as a separate issue and someone can work on that. And then we will have the rest of the serial tests, which according to Test Grid, this is from the PR job, look pretty flaky, but like there are some of them that are passing. So there's a few that have been failing and they do look like they're some of the disruptive tests. So.
I agree with you, Elana. I just wanted to give other time to chime in, but if we want to move forward, by all means, I'm with you.
Yeah. Oh, we have the whole meeting here, so I don't know if anybody else has feedback. We have a much larger group. Mostly, I think that like Odin linked this tab. This is the PR tab. This will not run continuously unless we're like going and doing the like PR blah, blah, blah on every single PR. I don't think we should do that. I think that we should just, you know, like this is based on the two commits where we disabled the eviction test. So but I think that we should do like for any other PR that doesn't do that, it's still going to keep failing. So we really need to split that out. So mostly I was just confused by what he was saying in terms of like, do we need to let this soak? Because nothing's merged that would need to soak right now. Like there's nothing that's merged in Kubernetes. And the only thing that's merged in test infra is that we fixed it so that it's actually running against PRs and not just against master. I missed that when I did the copy paste on the first PR. We have a bunch of new folks on the call. Do you know what we're talking about currently?
I took a look at these PRs earlier, so I have a vague idea.
So the TLDR is that we have this node kubelet serial job, which is supposed to be doing all of the serial tests for the kubelet, and it has been failing for months. But it has a bunch of really important tests, so we wanted to get this job working. And so we started with trying to tweak the timeouts, because previously it had like a 3-hour timeout. We tried increasing it to 7. It still was failing. So then Francesco found that like it was the tests that were running for eviction that were timing out. So he submitted a PR to like stop those, and then it still timed out. But then we realized that the job for the pull request was not actually running on the pull request. It was just running against master. So we fixed that. And then we found that indeed, when we disable the eviction test, it was passing in a reasonable amount of time. So I submitted a PR to basically split the two so we can work on one hand, trying to get the eviction tests fixed so they're not timing out. It sounds like they're timing out even after 24 hours. So there's something wrong with those tests. And then the rest of the tests, keeping in the same job so that we can get some signal in terms of what's flaking, what needs to be fixed, and we can hopefully add them back to like release informing or maybe even release blocking.
That makes sense.
So yeah, critical test coverage missing. We got to fix it. That's what we're here for. So yeah, I guess we'll leave it to give Odin a chance to chime in on that PR. But I think that we should proceed with splitting, because if we don't do that, we're not going to get more signal.
Do you know who is working on the eviction test itself?
I have no idea. So that would be, I guess, probably, do we have an issue for that? Probably not. That's probably something we should file right now.
Okay.
They are like very broken.
I would like to have a look, but after I will be fixing those tests that I wrote and they're failing, and that I want to deeply want to fix them, and after that I can look at evictions.
Yeah, that's no problem.
I might
help.
also. Oh, go on.
Okay, I may help in this test case, and I will try to run them locally and find the reason, maybe some of them. Okay.
Dims had asked me some questions about eviction. That's why I was asking earlier in the week. I think what was happening was we actually did kill the pods, but there was a different asynchronous thread going on inside of Kubelet that was getting the stats for which pods are running. So they were receiving the fact that a pod that has already been deleted, was still running after the pod was deleted because of the asynchronicity of the stats, to get which pods are running CRI API. So if you look at that, talk to Dims.
Yeah.
Cool. I might also try spending some time.
Does anybody
looking
want me
at
to
that this week.
CC them or assign them on this? Danielle, do you want me to?
Sure.
Feel free to CC me as well.
Who is me?
It's M Miranda 96. I'm not a member, so I'm not sure if I'm going to.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can CC me on that as well later.
Okay.
Mike Brown.
I know you. It's Mike Brown, but without the N.
You got it.
And let me see if I can. I'm linking this this other issue that like talks about the tests
Good.
failing.
Thanks.
So that's probably enough for people to figure this out. Enough context. Woohoo! Okay, that issue has been filed. Add that to the notes. Oh, it looks like Paco also wants to help with the eviction. So if somebody also wants to triage this right now, feel free. I'm going to try to drag this onto the board. Where is the board? I thought I opened it. Ah. Okay, let's see. I don't know if there's anything other than that one that we're missing. I'm going to assume that folks can assign themselves, and then I'll leave this in the in progress column. Let's see if there's any flakes. No, yay. Okay, so Sergey cleaned up the board, I think, before the meeting. So if somebody wants to just go run in and triage accept that one right now, that would be great. And I'm not sure what the state of things are, or if there's anything that we need updates on. Oh, we've got this kubelet node conformance tests are broken. That I'm never working on, so I should maybe /assign this one.
Lana, could you assign me to that as well? I've been looking into conformance tests.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so I had this is the one where I had, I feel like this is a duplicate because we also have, where is it? This one.
Yeah.
Like this, it seems to just be a duplicate of this one. So what repo was that filed in? I've lost it. Did I close it? I'm bad with tabs. Oh, this one.
I think there was another one
Oh,
that
this is
we
a
were
test
speaking
info.
about. There was another one that we were speaking about yesterday. That was again node conformance tests that were failing. So yeah, just either CC me or assign me, either works.
Yes. Let's see. Did I link anything else here? Oh, and then there's, yeah. Okay, so we now have 3 issues tracking this one. I think this is a duplicate. This is from 22 days ago. Yeah, so I think that this will probably be handled by whoever is working on these 2 things. Both of those I'm assigned to. And there is a PR up to just remove them. So yeah, it seems like for this one, DIMS had some concerns that we might be losing tests by removing this job, but I'm like pretty sure that we're not actually losing anything because I did a search through, I believe, so we have this job, which is running fine, I believe, this Kubernetes node kubelet. And then we have the Kubernetes node kubelet conformance, which runs the exact same thing, only it skips, it does not skip serial tests, whereas this one skips serial tests. But I couldn't find anything marked node conformance that was a serial test. So like, I think it's just a complete duplicate. Maybe I can pull up into test grid. So here's the node kubelet conformance. It's like there's some sort of infra issue where the job is not starting. And then what is the other job called? The CI node kubelet is on. Node kubelet master. And it's here. And this one's running just fine. So, and I mean, I don't know, maybe there's one of those eviction tests that's tagged serial that's causing this one to fail, but that, I don't know if that would be the thing causing this. And we can look at one of the test runs maybe. This one like actually failed. and doesn't seem like the cluster's coming up. Oh, that seems questionable. Why is this happening in a flaky project? I can't tell if this is timing out or what's going on, but this is definitely failing. I think this is timing out after an hour. Well, I'll add an example of one of the failing jobs. Is there anybody that wants to pick this up? I mean, I put a PR up to remove the job. Does anybody want to confirm that they're not duplicates and see why this is a CI failure? Because I know that Dims indicated some interest in making the job work first and then confirming it's a duplicate before we get rid of it.
Yeah, I could look at it.
Okay. Sorry, I just clicked the link in the chat. So that one is at least in progress. I mean, I'm pretty sure that it was in progress already because this looks like a duplicate of our other 3 issues on the subject. So let's see. So any other agenda items? Sounds like no. Is there anything that we want to go over on the board? We have a bunch of in progress issues. We've covered that one. We've covered that one. Who's this one assigned to? Hardham is not here. I know that this one, I think, is a pretty frequent flake. Do we have any updates on this one? Looks like no. So that one is basically the same. And then I think we have another one at the bottom. It's also basically the same. So I will drag it up so it's beside its friends. Establish test plan for SIG Node Containerd. And Didi, you're assigned to this one. Is there anything that's been happening here? It looks like you did some research at some point.
So actually, like before 1 or 2 months back, I guess, DIMS have raised multiple PRs on cleaning up containerd tests, and he hasn't linked with the issue. And I have also raised 1 or 2 PRs. So it's just now, if you look at the containerd board on test grid, it looks much cleaner. Just we need to do a cross check and like and then close the issue. So.
Okay, yeah. Definitely looking. I don't know what it was like before, but this doesn't look terrible by
So
any means.
like it was like
I know we had a bunch of
1.4.
ancient jobs that we got rid of.
Yeah, so that has been removed. The 1.2, there was 1.2 job also, 1.3 that have been removed. Yeah. So
And what exactly is the follow up that we need to do still?
I think that there could be more job that we can clean, and like you can see, still 3 or 4 failures there that can be resolved.
Okay. So I will take the stale off of that one. And then node kubelet orphans tests failing. Do we have a meme today? I haven't seen him in a while. See with this one. Does anybody know what the status of this one is? There's an open PR for it. It looks like Ikema is looking into this one, so I will assign him the issue. Although I think he's not a Kubernetes member, so. Clean up E2E node Jenkins. I feel like there were a bunch of tests that were sent in to remove this, and looks like node E2E is failing. I don't know if anything has happened since that LGTM was canceled. It looks like no. So perhaps at some point someone else can pick that up, because I know it's that one. It looks like it hasn't been touched since April, and it is now June, it turns out. I feel like this one is a duplicate of this. Oh, that's C group v2 versus not C group v2. Okay, it looks like we have an approach for that from yesterday, so that's great. We already looked at that one. This looks like a duplicate. No, one of them is a timeout and one of them is that this doesn't properly match. So we've got a bunch of issues with this test. This one does not, oh, it's assigned to Francesco. Do you have an update on this one? Do you have too much on your plate?
The update is I didn't have the time to look at it, and this is my bad. But yeah, I have other stuff to do at the moment.
That's okay. Does anybody feel passionate about this test and want to jump in? I know that this has been a flake for quite some time.
And by the way, I still want to look at it. It's just later. So
Yes. Well, don't we all? It would be good to at least get somebody looking at this now because I know, like, I've seen this flake on.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. But if nobody else can get to it, then certainly you can look at it later. It's just, you can't do everything. So this failure that Rob Kilty reported here, that's a duplicate of the other issue. It's not a timeout. So perhaps, given that that summary is the same, I will just close that one as a duplicate of this one, because I think this one has a little bit more detail. And actually, it's hard to say. But I know that the CI signal team is looking at this issue and not this issue. Yay, we closed something. So pods should run through the life cycle of pods and pod status. Francesco, you also assigned this one.
Yes,
looks like you had a chance to look at this one.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. And then, sorry, it looks like you put an update on this one.
Yeah, I was looking into this yesterday. Kind of did some digging up. So basically, still there's a test that is failing because of some timeout issue, and need to get at the bottom of this. So I just put in kind of some of my findings for me to, remember when I come back to it.
Yes, no, that's a great update. And yeah, I know with this one, it's just like the pods for the tests initially are not starting, which I don't know if that's something that we can do anything about. That's more of an API machinery thing. So
yeah, that's what I thought, that like some of the tests in SIG networking and, API machinery conformance test and networking conformance test were depending on this particular test. So I assume that it was because the pod wasn't getting started, that this
were they depending on it, or were they just also failing with the same error? Because usually each test is independent.
Yeah, I should say the latter. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then maybe do you have some capacity to take a look at some of these other tests and see if it's like a similar thing, like this one, for example?
Yeah, I'm already doing that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I will guess this one looks like it's also being looked at by the CI signal team. So it'd be good if we had someone actively assigned to this one. I'll unassign you, Francesco, just because you've got so much on your plate. So does anybody want to take a look at this one? You got new faces on the call. Feel free to jump in.
Yeah, put me. I don't know.
Okay. And I know you also have the issue of doom with the flakes on the probes. We should probably take a look at that one today. Flaky test. Pods should support pod readiness gates. This is an oldie. 2019.
And here is where I stopped. No reproducer.
Couldn't find a
And-
reproducer.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will certainly add that as an update. And let's take a look at the triage link and make sure it's still flaky. There are some occasional timeouts, but it seems to think that this is a network problem, probably because it's timing out. Let's take a look at one of these. It wasn't just that test, so I can't blame the infrastructure. Looked at that one. We looked at that one. And that one. Just closing tabs. Okay. Last three. Potential race from one of the linters. Aditi, you are assigned to this one. Do you have any updates on this?
Yeah, give me a second. So on this one, like if you go, I have mentioned in comments there. If you go down, like
This one?
yeah, from the discussion, I found that like what the lender is doing, that part we can remove. It won't have any consequences.
So there's a suggested patch, and then I don't know.
I will create a PR to remove it.
Okay.
Then we can see more discussions on it, possibly.
Great. This is more of a sort of topic thing. And yeah, I agree with this. We should not have node features and also features. It's just kind of all over the place. So I'm not sure. let's add this to the agenda for next week when Sergey can attend, and I'll remove lifecycle stale on this. Next week will be 16th. Oh, and I should add the attendees. Let me take a screenshot of the participants. I can add that later. Okay, last one, I think. This is Matthias's favorite. We have this startup probe job that keeps flaking. So, yeah.
Now at least it flakes less.
It flakes less. Yeah, that's good news. I'm not sure how to fix this one. Like, I know when I added the tests for changing like the grace period, I did like a thing where I ran the thing on my local machine for like 2 hours, and then I like looked at the distribution of timings, and then I based the timeouts on that. I doubt anybody's done anything like that with this, so I wonder if maybe that's the sort of thing that we just need to do on this.
Yeah, I don't know.
I went and I ran it. I collected 100 data points. I did the quantile analysis on it, and then I like added a little bit of room. Sometimes the problem with these things is that because there are possible races and whatnot, like the way that we set the timeout thresholds is like we have to set them in such a way that we know for a fact that we're getting the behavior that we want isolated in the tests, and we're not accidentally timing out on something else. So we might be able to like tweak the thresholds to reduce the flakiness.
Yeah, the thing is that before the flakiness was explained because it was a bug, and
Yes.
now until I find that there is a bug or not, I'm not sure if we should change the timeouts or not. It's very difficult, and maybe the work on the pod status, the one that is from.
That Clayton's doing. I'm not sure that that one will necessarily make a big difference on this one, but I think possibly like reducing the jitter to like ensure that it's. I mean, I guess it'll just still be some multiple of like
from Clayton.
Period.
Yes.
Because I wasn't sure what the exact value of that before was.
Yeah.
So what's our plan going forward?
I need to watch again the source code, because at least the way now the test is written, we no longer have the issue of the sleeping at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
The jitter that was like interfering with the sleeping. So now, by the way it's written here, it's out of scope. But there might still be something in propagating the status, maybe from the container to the pod, or I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's fair to like this is not flaking nearly as often, so I think it's fair for us to just kind of hope and wait. So good, we got through all of the issues on the board. Is there any? I guess I should check to see if we have PRs without assignees. I don't know why this has a hold on it, but I'll assign this to myself to review.
I have like two questions.
Sure.
So this meeting is superseding the one on Wednesday, or we have
no.
Some weeks we have both of them.
So we'll never have both of them. The plan is that we will do this one once a month on the second Thursday at this time, and we'll use the Wednesday time the rest of the month because we weren't sure how much demand there was for this time. And the other issue is that I am like quadruple booked in this slot. So I can do this once a month, but I can't do this every week.
Okay,
I think
but what I mean, the one from the week that we are meeting on Thursday, we have
sorry, Matthias, your audio is breaking up. I'm not sure if it's just for me or
Wednesday.
everyone else.
Yeah, breaking for me as well.
Okay.
The
So
week.
if to clarify, when we are having this
Yeah,
Thursday
it's my fault.
time, we won't have a Wednesday meeting. So every second week of the month, every second Thursday of the month, we will have this time and not have the Wednesday meeting. There is a calendar invite that was sent out to the SIG Node test failures mailing list. So if you are subscribed to that list, then you will get the calendar invite. So you will know when the meetings are supposed to be. Sergey owns the calendar invite and he updated it. So the Wednesday one was like canceled for this week. And we're basically at time, so we didn't have a chance to go through the rest of the PRs, but I think that's okay. We'll stop sharing. Anything else for our last 2 minutes today? Bug smashing. So we're going to be working on the bug scrub that will be in 2 weeks. 2 weeks today, and my hope is that we can kick that off probably starting at like 1 UTC on the 24th, which will for me be like I think the day before kind of thing. So I'm happy to help kick that off. We need volunteers, so I haven't checked the spreadsheet, but I sent out a spreadsheet to the mailing list for folks to sign up to volunteer. And I know that we have some folks on this call in various time zones, so I'm hoping that I will see you there and that we can have some folks volunteer. Looks like some people have signed up. So that's great. We need regional captains for Europe and Middle East and Africa, EMEA. So if anybody, we have lots of reviewers, approvers, possible mentors signing up, but we need people to help coordinate. So I encourage you to sign up for that if you are interested. Oh, and let me share the link in the chat. It's also in Slack, and it's also sent to the mailing list. And thank you, Aditi and Paco, for volunteering for APAC. That's awesome. Coordination, will there be a Slack or Zoom? I am trying to figure that out right now. So probably we'll just use the, oh, hello, bird. I have a bird sitting on my window. So hopefully we will use the SIG Node Zoom, so like this room, and we'll just be dropping in and out throughout the day. We don't have any other SIG Node meetings scheduled, so it's not like there's worry about a conflict. And then for Slack, I'm seeing if we're going to either use the main channel or if we're going to get a special event channel. I've been talking to Contribex and Slack admins, and I haven't gotten a response for them yet. I'm also trying to get triage parties set up because apparently we have to like run our own instance of it. It's not a hosted thing. So yeah, I'm still working on the details, but hopefully at some point we'll have that all figured out. Great. We're at time, so I will see everybody next week in a SIG Node meeting perhaps, or on Slack sooner, and have a great rest of your day. Cheers, everyone.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
bye.
Bye.